Welcome everyone to the first winter school in AI and predictive agriculture. My name's David Kainer, and I'm the lead of the organising committee for this new winter school. I'm a senior research fellow in the ARC Centre of Excellence for Plant Success in Nature and Agriculture here at UQ. And so I'm here to introduce the school and welcome you all, and see if I can get the presentation working first. There we go. So obviously, really excited for this. Being in AI Winter School, when I was trying to build up a presentation for this intro, I thought, well, let's throw AI at it for the imagery. And I went a bit overboard. So just have fun with this. And I got AI to show me, what is the history in the last 50 or so years of innovation in biology and crop improvement and agriculture. And this is what it came up with, and it's not bad. And you can see that there's been some staggeringly amazing developments over the last 50 years. And now we're sort of over on your left, my right, in the 2020s, in the era of AI and big data and predictive biology. And this is such a big field on its own. Every step along the way across this diagram has been a big deal. But AI, big data, and predictive biology is such a huge thing that it's been recognized that, the importance of it can't be understated. And one of the drivers of this winter school was that there were reports such as this one from FABA, which is the Food and Beverage Accelerator here at UQ, and they recognized in their white paper in 2024 that there is a shortage of AI and data science expertise. If we're going to increase food production by 2050, which we need to, that's a real problem. So what do you need to solve that? And one of the actions they identified is we need to build human capacity in applied AI for agriculture. And so that underpins really the existence of this winter school, because AI itself has been on its own evolution, and it seems to be getting accelerating and getting more and more involved in everyday life. It used to be something you'd find in the world of computer science and mathematics. And gradually, as we've built into deep learning and then foundation models, generative AI, and now into the agentic AI era, it's starting to leach into every field imaginable. But learning how to do this, learning what it means, learning how it works is not easy. If most of us here, I'm assuming, are not from a computer science or mathematics background. And it's a real challenge to understand how these things, how these technologies and how this AI progression can apply and be used properly in our field. What we really want to do is be able to look inside the black box of AI, because if you're using AI but don't really understand how it works, it's kind of a black box. Data goes in, prediction comes out. We hope it's good. That's great. So I went and started searching online for a good image to represent looking in the black box, and I really loved this one. And it just turned out that it was actually an image for an article on LinkedIn about understanding how neural networks work. Thought, well, that's super appropriate. That's exactly what we're here to do. We're here to open that black box, understand how these AI models work. And once we do understand them, we can then understand how they're getting applied and start thinking about how we can use them in our own work and our own research. So the goals of the winter school, in a nutshell, I think can be boiled down to these two things. We'd love to impart a strong intuition about how AI models work. And that doesn't mean you have to be a computer scientist or a mathematician, but we'd love for attendees to go home after this winter school and think, right, when people talk about training a neural network, I understand what that means. I understand how it's happening. Or when this AI model makes a prediction, I understand the caveats around that prediction and understand what it's doing. So to feel inside that you know what AI means and what it's doing. And therefore, to have the capability to go back to your own work and say, right, I'm ready now to really start applying AI in my work because I know what I'm doing. And it's not a mystery and it's not a black box. And so through these are the three sort of key things we're going to do in the Winter School over 3 days. Today is all about the AI toolkit, all about learning about models and how they work. Day 2 will be applied AI for phenotyping, and day 3, AI for genomic prediction. So here's where I went a little nuts with AI imagery, and this is probably a little busy, but it's quite nice. I fed it the day 1 AI toolkit program, and AI built this as a nice pathway, starting from in the top, we've got the intro to neural networks. And once you can understand how neural networks are trained and how information flows in them, we can move on to learning more advanced models and embeddings that are built on top of those, and through to transformers and attention. And these are the things that underpin some of the models like ChatGPT and models that other models that we can use in agriculture, and all the way through to agricultural foundation models, and then agentic AI. So having AI work autonomously for us. And then finally, how to deploy it, how to make use. Building AI models is wonderful, but and using them, but making it actually active and in use is another thing altogether. So that's what day 1 is all about. Then day 2 will be the applied to phenotyping. There's such a growth area, so much new data being gathered, massive data in so many modalities. It's actually almost impossible to make use of that data without AI at this point. And so day 2 will be devoted to that, and we'll have workshops. We'll be showing lectures, case studies. We're seeing how it's applied in reality, and then workshops to get hands-on with it. Day 3, similar to day 2, except the focus is on genomic prediction. So AI models, genotypes in, prediction of phenotype out. How can AI models build on what we've currently been doing for the last 20-something years in the genomic prediction space? And like day 2, there'll be a series of seminars, case studies, and also workshops for those who have registered for the workshops. So just to finish off, who's here? It's been amazing seeing the response when we first put out advertising for the Winter School. We have over 300 people registered in person and online. Welcome to everyone here in person and anyone who is listening online. It's fantastic to have these kind of numbers, and it sort of shows the level of interest there is in the agricultural field in learning how to bring AI into our work. We have a lot of people, of course, from UQ and Brisbane, but also a considerable number from outside of Brisbane, and even some people who've flown in internationally. So thank you very much for coming here. And you guys are the guinea pigs. It's the first Winter School. It's experimental, but we want everyone to feel that you can just get involved, ask questions, network, discuss. This is a sort of a flexible situation, and we want everyone to feel like they have the freedom to learn in many, many ways through this, and get involved, talk to the speakers, meet each other at your tables. And just to finish off, I'd like to thank in advance at the start of this whole thing, I'd like to thank a few key people. The organising committee is listed here. I've highlighted in bold Uwe Dressel, who's done a power of work in administrative capacity and organising and making sure all the logistics of this thing run, and it couldn't have been organised without him. Everyone on this list has contributed to pulling together speakers, the program, talks. I'd like to point out Christine Beveridge, who's the director of the ARC Centre of Excellence for Plant Success in Nature and Agriculture. She kind of planted the seed for the whole concept of this winter school. And the ARC Centre of Excellence for Plant Success has funded this school, I think, entirely. And so it couldn't be happening without that centre and without Christine's foresight to trigger the development of this school. So with that, I'm going to get out of the way and get our first speaker, our keynote speaker, who is Lee Hickey, Professor Lee Hickey from the ARC Training Centre in Predictive Breeding, who's going to give us a big picture view of AI in the agricultural space. So thank you.